Afternoon, ladies and gents. This is your friendly neighborhood Varsider here, and I'm bringing you episode 2 of Becoming a Pro. Today's episode is about mentality. So these tips are important to help early and fresh teams in their very beginning stages. These steps can be the roughest and often make or break a team as players sort of trying to gel and get a feel for each other and just sort of work and fit and stuff, yeah. So despite sounding pretty obvious, this stuff doesn't happen overnight and has to be worked on. Especially when the typical COD player has the attention span of a goldfish. That usually translates into why rosters are changed so frequently. So if you lose a game, right, you should be thinking about you and what you did and what you could have done better. No player's performance will ever be 100% perfect in any game ever, but the idea is to minimize that possibility of that sort of error happening. So where does that error come from? What is the heart of that error? And that's mentality. So the way you act and react to your sort of kills, deaths, your plays, and just general communication has to be rigorously controlled. You need to cut out all the other crap in your head. So 4v4 is about thinking on your feet and being very quick. You've got to do things on the fly, and adjusting in a split second is a must, especially with CTF and DOM, and just things can change on their head. So you can't afford to be reminiscing on a kill you should have gotten, or calling someone crap because they killed you because they were sitting in a head glitch or something stupid like that. You have to be 100% focused on keeping out all the other factors that might make you anything but positive and focused. This is half the battle in 4v4s. When someone gets a 3-piece against your team, which leads them to pulling a flag and then keeps a map control and you stuck in your base, that sucks. There's no lying about that. Nobody likes it, especially when there's money and, even more importantly, bragging rights on the line. So what do? You forget about it instantly. The second it happened, it's over. What 3-piece? Did they pull a flag? Seriously? I thought the game started with them being 1-up already. That may sound childish, but simplicity is powerful. Go jump into a grand final and listen to a weaker team's communication when they just lost a flag and are down by a single cap with, let's say, 45 seconds on the clock. I guarantee you morale won't be high, so you have to make it high. Of course, you don't need to say those things out loud, but that's the mentality you should be having. That's what should be happening in your head. So you have the ability to say, hey, 45 seconds on the clock. I'm two-man pushing top glass with you, Ziggy. Vamped, you should be slaying on B-Dom. Goose, I want to see a spastic pull till we make a gap. And yeah, spastic pull is actually a legit term we use, no offense intended. 45 seconds is a lot of time in game, considering it takes less than a second for someone to be killed by grenades or knifing or bullets, whatever, just the typical COD stuff. Anyway, so the point that I'm getting at is you've got to never give up. Call of Duty is one of those games where no matter the score, you can and will be able to come back. Sort of take last night, for example. We were scrimming CTF Arcaden. Absolutely owned in the first half with 3-0, full map control, spawns any given moment were ours. We were absolute kings for that half. Second half started and we lost sort of middle map control for breakout. Yeah, sort of shit happens. So what? We battled it out, lost a couple of clutch situations for important middle ground, and we weren't rotating back through our flag properly to sort of defend off of those deaths. So the other team started abusing that. And I felt like I was the only person rotating back, despite calling it out, and I got a little bit annoyed by that, and I lost my cool. And chances are, I probably didn't even notice it, they were probably doing it, I was dead when it was happening, or I wasn't paying proper attention because I was too focused on sort of being angry at everyone for not doing what I was saying to do. Van told me off and sort of hit me with a typical stay cool, pay attention, do what you do sort of stuff. I heard it and worked at it, but it was sort of too late. I'd already put off Logics and Ziggy. They'd basically gone into the mentality of, oh well, it's only a scrim, and sort of gone a little bit quiet because of my rage. I lost us that half, basically morale and mentality-wise, in a minute or two, by not being able to control myself properly, and then pick up the rest of my team's attitude. Rightfully, they should have recognized that I was having trouble, and to try and pick me up, and not sort of take my scary comments and attitude to heart, and to let it affect them. But hey, that's something we have to work on. That's something they're not used to, so we've got work to do. Anyway, we ended up losing that game 4-3. I think they capped a flag on us in probably the last dying seconds of the game. So anyway, that's probably as good of an example as any of the big snowballing effects of not being able to control yourself and to keep that positive attitude. So from there, I'm going to go talk to Logics and Ziggy and to sort of bring them up to speed with where Vamped is at. He has sort of weathered my changes of emotion in game and knows how to keep me cool and ground me and move on as where other people can't do that. Anyway, mentality is something that always needs to be worked on, and there's so many external factors that can alter it, both in game and real life. So it's down to you to make sure that you have a clear head when you come on to play, so you can project that positive winning mentality and attitude onto your team. Thank you and good night. Varsider out. Bam! So if you guys got any questions or anything you want me to talk about, or pointers or tips, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'd love to know any opinions or attitudes, or what you guys think of these commentaries and just the shit I'm sort of speaking about, if that's useful or not, or any feedback, general feedback on the mic, etc, etc. You know, just talk to me.